truthful, be honest, be kind, always remain curious, always be responsible, always keep learning, be on time, do what you say please and thank you, love God, love your family, love other people. Great. Good morning, everyone. We're going to go through 10 vows of the rich. We went over this last time, and I recently heard a podcast of where I learned the 10 vows through a seminar that I went to, and I wanted to recap on the 10 vows. However, we're going to go down to the 3 attitudes, the 3 disciplines, and the 3 things that we have to do every single day. And I'm going to mention exactly what it is for us to have a better life for ourselves and our families. Because one of my goals is to make sure that everybody that's in this company and on the other side of this phone retires wealthy, has enough money for retirement, has enough to take care of their family. So the first vow, never again will I pity or belittle myself. Okay, what do people get out of pitying or belittling themselves? Because look, guys, we're the number one critics of ourselves. We criticize everything we do, and a lot of times we fall into this pity party. And when we do that, we become victims. We have no control over our lives anymore. That's it. Okay, we give up and we just hand it over to the pity party. Now, we can't avoid getting there. Okay, sometimes people get there because of hardship or whatever it is, but we have to get out of it quickly. We can't stay in that pity party too long. The problem is that when we are there, okay, we become victims. And when we're victims, we have no control. That's it. We've given up. So the first vow, never again will I pity or belittle myself. Second vow, never again will I greet the dawn without a map. So what is this one, guys? Having goals and having a to-do list. Okay, I'm going to go through the things that I do every single morning, not because I want to brag or anything, but I want to tell you guys how I plan my days, because I think it's really important to wake up and know exactly what you're going to do that day. It's really important to have a map, and what I do is I fill my calendar up with a to-do list of all the things that I want to get accomplished that day, and everything needs to be aligned to my goals. So I wake up every single morning at 5 o'clock, I read my goals, I look at my calendar, I read my to-do list. So this is the second vow. Never again will I greet the dawn without a map. Never want to have the sun come up and you have no map, you have no goals for that day or a to-do list for that day. You have to have that. Never again will I be disagreeable to a living soul. And what does this mean, guys? Being disagreeable to a living soul, you got to get along with people. There's this book out there called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I've read this book 7, 8, 9, 10 times. This book is one of the best books that you can use to guide your life with other people. Guys, we're in the service business, and everything I listen to and I read, right now I'm going through the Grant Cardone Training University, and he says never ever disagree with a customer. Never ever, tell them no. Never ever disagree. Always be agreeable to the customer. However, they're not always right, so you got to lead them to the right path, but don't be disagreeable to a living soul. And this is a rule that we have to live by. Number 4, always will I seek the seed of triumph in every adversity. Okay, we have our value of faith. Everything that happens to us happens for a reason greater than us, and therefore we welcome all experiences, good or bad, knowing greater success lies ahead in them. What does that value mean? We are not bulletproof from anything bad that happens in our life. It's going to happen to all of us. Bad things happen to good people all the time. It's how we react and respond to those bad things, okay, that determine our success in life. And what this vow is saying, always will I seek the seed of triumph in every adversity. Everything that goes wrong, I'm always looking for the good that's going to come out of it at the end. Vow number 5, never again will I perform any task less than my best. Whatever you do, guys, any task you do, if you're serving customers, clients, whatever you're doing, you got to give it your 100% and give it your best. There's times, guys, when I'm doing these meetings and it takes me 4, 5, 6 hours for me to put together a 30-minute talk, because you know what I want to do is I want to deliver only the best content to you guys so you guys could take that and learn from it. So what do? I prepare, and preparing is always the best thing you can do to to perform the best that you can perform. So every single day, guys, we have to be prepared to give customers and whatever task is in front of us our 100%. Vow number 6, always will I throw my whole self into every task at hand. What this means, guys, is do not do anything half-assed. Cutting corners, not doing things. If we make a promise, guys, and we tell clients we're going to do something, we need to do what we promised and do more than what we promised, not less, more. And this vow is telling me that I'm always going to perform the best I can, throw my whole self into the task at hand. Nothing half-assed, 100%. We give out those pins 100% at the TNT meetings. What those pins mean is that you're going to show up every single day, give it 100% every single day. Here's vow number 7. Never again will I wait and hope for an opportunity to embrace me. Guys, opportunities are there. The problem is that we're not ready to embrace every single opportunity. The problem is not the shortage of opportunities. The problem is that we're not ready for the opportunities that are in front of us. So every day in my prayers, right, I pray one thing. I pray a lot of things, but this one thing I always pray is, God, always give me the abilities to fulfill the opportunities in front of me. Give me the abilities to take advantage of the opportunities ahead of me. Because it's not about the opportunities being short, it's about our abilities handle the opportunities in front of us. We all have more opportunities than we can handle. And it says this vow, never again will I wait and hope for an opportunity to embrace me. I'm going to go attack every single opportunity and give it 100%. Vow number 8, always will I examine each night my deeds of the fading day. And this is what I recently started doing, guys. I recently started recapping the day in the evening, writing down in my journal. I have this journal, and I journal a few things. And I'm going to share with you guys the things that I do after these 10 vows. But I want everybody to learn it because I want you to apply these. I've learned these skills from some of the most successful people in the world. And I want you guys to learn these skills and do it as well. So every night, I do great in the daytime with all of the things that I want to do and accomplish. And one of the things that I need to do is recap. I learned that some of the most successful people recap, and I put together this recap plan because this helped me get through the evening as well. So I write down a list of what went well today. I just write down all the things that went good, the things that I was able to accomplish that went really well, the wins that I had. Number 2, I write down what virtues did I acquire? What did I learn today? Okay, good or bad, what did I learn today from the experiences I had? And number 3, what temptations did I resist? We live in a world where there is temptations all day long. You are tempted to do this, do that, especially if you're hanging out with certain people that will tempt you to do certain things. And we have to resist temptation. So what I found out is I was great at resisting temptations all the way up to about 5 o'clock in the evening, 6 o'clock in the evening. As soon as I had dinner, I usually had a really good healthy dinner as well. And then I would lose it, right? I would have junk food. I would make bad choices. Sometimes, I got an addiction in the evenings where after the kids went to bed, I would smoke some hookah. I used to make bad choices in the evenings. And this is recent because it just started happening to me. So I learned the skill as I was watching of writing down the recap of my day. So now at 7 or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I start recapping my day and I write down what temptations did I resist today. If I resisted grabbing that handful of Doritos that evening, I write that down. If I resisted, eating that dessert after dinner because I just don't want to eat dessert, I want to stay slim and healthy and all of this, I write that down. So by journaling my recap of the day and having the temptations that I resisted that day, it helped me get through the finish line, guys. Get through the finish line and put my head on the pillow knowing that I had almost a perfect day. Always will I examine each night my deeds of the fading day, right? And this is what I mean by writing down, recapping the day. Vow number 9 of the vows of the rich. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passion opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired? Again, what did I learn that day? What did I become great at that day? What passion did I work on that day? What temptation did I resist that day? The temptations of the world, right? What did I resist that day? Okay, number 10, always will I maintain contact through prayer with my Creator. This is vow number 10. I start the day, guys, with a prayer. I end the night with a prayer. Guys, the prayer to me is like meditation, right? Reaching out to God and asking them to look out for the people I work with. Please bless their families. My family, I pray for my kids, my wife, my mom. I pray for all of my family. I pray for the family at work. And then I pray that my abilities match my opportunities. That I don't pray for my problems to go away. I pray to get better. But I do it in the morning and at night. And then I put my head on the pillow and sleep. Guys, I have great dreams because I don't watch the news at night. I don't put any bad stuff in my brain before I go to bed. So the vows of the rich are extremely important, guys, for us to follow, because these principles that are here are going to guide our life. Okay, now I want to talk about the 3 things that we need to do every single day. The 3 things that are the most important, that are actually going to help you create wealth in your family, in your life, and is going to create a better life for you. Number 1 of the 3, make more. You have to be able to earn more money. Okay, I heard a saying a long time ago that minimum wage is a good place to start, but not a good place to park, not a good place to finish. I was once in Florida a long time ago, and they have these stores called Publix out there. And it really dawned on me the most when I was in one of these stores. And I remembered, because I bought something, and then there was, the bag person that puts the stuff in the bag. And I looked over, and that person was an older lady, probably, I would think, in her mid-70s, bagging groceries. And I looked at it, I go, oh my God, this lady is bagging groceries. It reminded me of my first job when I was 15 years old. My first job was bagging groceries. The job before that was marketing for my dad as a kid, putting stickers on payphones for his business. But my first real job was bagging groceries. So I connected and went back and said, my God, this was my first job, but this is this lady's last job. And what actually happened that created this lady to bag groceries? Now, to give her the benefit of the doubt, maybe she was just doing it because she enjoyed working. Maybe it wasn't because of the money, but this lady was bagging groceries. So I thought about it. I said, wow, this is a minimum wage job, because this was how much I was making when I started. But this is how much this lady is making at her end of her career, right? And that is a problem, guys. And what happened in between 15 years old and 75 years old that creates that? I will tell you, the one biggest factor that creates that, is not learning anymore, giving up on learning. And we have to become lifelong students, guys, and we have to master the art in front of us, the thing that we do in front of us. You can never get to a point, guys, that you have arrived and that you're comfortable, you're making the amount of money you want to make is enough for you. You cannot get to that point where you're comfortable. You got to get out of your comfort zone. Okay, so the things that I do every single day, guys, every morning I'm reading the Bible. I'm learning out of the greatest book in the world. I'm reading and I'm learning principles out of those books. Number 2, I'm watching videos. Every single morning, one of my routines is watching 2 or 3 Grant Cardone training videos, taking the tests. I'm watching the videos on Hero University, our process. I'm thinking about what can I do today that'll better our process in our company to help our people become successful. I'm doing that every single morning. And on a weekly basis, I have a 2-3 hour learning course, online learning course that I'm taking that's mastering my skills and getting it to an even higher level. I have not stopped doing this, guys, for the last 20 years. Every single day I'm learning something new, listening to podcasts on my way to work, I read 25, 30 books a year, books about business, about life, about bettering myself. I'm doing book clubs with my kids every single evening. I am massively attacking this learning thing every single day. And you have to do it as well, guys. If you want to make more money, the difference between my first job when I was 15 and this lady's last job at 75, 80, bagging groceries at minimum wage is what I put into learning and what the person is going to put into their knowledge, guys. It's all about knowledge. If we want to make more money, we have to get better. There's people on this phone right now that have gotten to a point where you believe that you already learned everything that you need to learn, okay? That you don't need to learn anymore. That's it. And that's the biggest problem, guys. That's the reason why you can't take advantage of the opportunities in front of you, because you've already arrived. If you've arrived, then you can't go any further because you've arrived. Okay, this is a lifelong game, guys. This learning is a lifelong game. Dr. Randall Bell published a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. He said those that maintain both a calendar and a to-do list, and part of that calendar and to-do list needs to be learning every single day, are more likely to become millionaires. Okay, this is the one thing that you have to start with every single day, is think about, what am I going to learn today? How am I going to do that? How am I going to be proactive, learning and becoming better and better every single day? Now, what is the second most important thing that you must do? And the second most important thing you must do, guys, is save more money. First, you got to learn how to earn more. Second, you got to learn how to save more. Okay, we live in one of the greatest marketing and sales world out there. In America, there is no time that has been better at sales and marketing than today. Now, you are being sold to every single day to buy something you do not need. You have to learn the difference between your needs and your wants. I had this conversation with my 13-year-old the other day. Dad, I need this, I need this, I need this. I go, Christian, you don't need that. What you need is a roof over your head. You need warm clothes. You need a healthy meal. That's what you need to survive. Just understand that the things that you're saying that you need are things that you want. So I want you to correct your language. I want you to say, Dad, I want this, I want that, I want that. And your needs are different from your wants. In order for us to learn, save more money, we have to learn the difference between our need and our want, because we confuse those two and then go out and buy a bunch of stuff that we really do not need. We want, but we think that we need it. So guys, think about, okay, living below your means. I did this in my early age. I learned this from a seminar I went to a long, long time ago, guys. And it was the jar method. And they said, you got to put these 5 jars or 4 jars in place. And I started doing this every single week. And until today, I do it. I do it right now. Every single Saturday morning when I wake up, I do this. And I'm going to share the secret with you guys on how to do this. You have to have these jars. And now I've electronically did it. I do it in my bank account. I no longer do it with jars, but I used to do it in jars. I took a jar and I put down a label, that jar, saving. And I put down 10%. I said, everything I earn, I'm going to save 10%. I'm going to put into that jar. And I started doing that on a weekly basis, right? Today I do it electronically through my bank account. And then I had another one that said invest. And I put down a percentage over there. And that percentage was like 5% back at the time I was doing it. 5% of my income is going to go to invest. Then the other one, I put my bills, what I have to pay. And I knew exactly how much my bills were every single month, and I put exactly that much in that account to be able to pay. And then I had a jar that said rainy day fund. What are rainy day funds? You know, things don't go well, guys. Some of us are on commission like myself. I'm a commission person like everybody else. If the company does better, I do better. If the company does bad, I do bad. A lot of times I'm the last guy to get paid. Once everybody's paid, whatever's left over, that's when I get to get paid, right? What did I do? Okay, I started putting rainy day funds. I figured the rule is 3 months of whatever my bills are that I have to pay every single month, I'm going to put in a rainy day fund. And as soon as I fill up that jar, I'm going to put that away, and I'm only going to open it up if I don't have enough money to pay my bills. So a rainy day fund. So I went out there, I started filling these jars every single day. Every single week I was filling these jars. And next thing I know, the jar started filling up. The rainy day fund, the bucket filled up. The 3 months, I stopped it. And I kept filling the other bucket. As I got better and better, I started earning more and more. So what I did, instead of increasing my lifestyle, I kept below my means. I started going, instead of 10% into the savings, instead of 5% into the investment, instead of 5% into the giving away or the charity or whatever I was going to give away. By the way, there was a 5th one that said give. Okay, that was a charity fund that I was putting together to give away money. And it originally started at 5%, went up to 10%. So once all of those were filled up and I'm making more money and my expenses aren't going up, I started filling more in the save and invest, and the give. I started putting more and more and more. And then that percentage went from 5% into the invest to 10, to 12. So the more you make, the less your spending is, the less your overhead costs are, the more you're going to fill up those jars. So today, what I did is I've created accounts online. And every Saturday morning, when I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, I do my morning ritual. Then I go into my accounts and I start, transferring money from one account to the next, one account to the next. Automatically, my Give account, automatically money gets debited. I set it up on automatic where boom, every single week that money is going out to whatever my charity is or whatever I'm going to be giving away that money to. So it's on automatic. My invest money is there as soon as it accumulates. I go looking for something to invest in. And this is what you got to do, guys. These are the kind of things, disciplines you got to put in place, right, to do it. So I'm telling you, not because I'm trying to brag about the things that I do, guys, the things that I've learned that I want you guys to do every single week, because I want to create 99 millionaires. The only way that it is going to happen, guys, is by you guys putting these 3 habits, principles, I don't know what you call it, into place every single day, every single week. Number 1, I'm going to recap real quick. Make more money. How? How do you make more money? By becoming better, by learning, by working harder, by having a great work ethic, by showing up and taking advantage of the opportunities, by showing up to TNT boot camp, by watching the Grant Cardone training videos, learning, sharpening the saw every single day, getting better and better and better. Number 2, save more. How do you save more? Live below your means. Start putting in the jars that I was talking about, putting away money. Start doing that. Number 3, invest. Now you take that jar that you put in that money into, okay, and you start investing. What do you invest it in? Okay, start with the low-hanging fruit, guys. Do you have a Roth IRA? Do you have a 401k? Have you started putting money in your 401k? Guys, I can't tell you how important it is. The Roth IRA and the 401k, they're pre-tax money that you could put in. I don't know what the Roth IRA cap is, but I've been putting money into my Roth IRA for the last 25, 30 years. It's been just I don't even look at it. It's just going in there all the time. I don't even know how much is in there. All I know is I hope I never need to go to it because I'm going to work for the rest of my life. But if I ever need to go to it, it's going to be there. And that money is compounding. Interest is hitting all the time. Your 401k, guys, we match a portion of the money that you put into 401k. Why wouldn't you put money into your 401k? Exhaust it to the cap. I don't know what the yearly cap is, but I think it's maybe $15,000 or $25,000. If you're making enough money to be able to put the entire thing in, put it all in, guys, all in. If you're younger, put it into an aggressive plan where you're going to earn more interest. If you're older, slightly more, safe plans that they invest the money into safer companies and accounts. So put it in there, guys. This is the first things that you got to start doing. Roth IRA, buy a house. 80% of the millionaires that are out there, their wealth is in their first home, first and second home. Buy a house. Figure out how to pay off your mortgage faster by paying an extra payment a year. When I first bought my first house, guys, which is not too far from my second house that I live in right now, I went in there and put in a 15-year mortgage at the time. I said, you know what, I'm going to work really hard, pay this thing off in 15 years. So I did a 15-year mortgage. Then I started paying an extra payment every single year. Okay, at the year end, I said, I'm going to double up my mortgage this year. Dude, I paid that house off in 10 years. And today, that house is rented, and it's bringing me some really good income every single month. So buy your first home, guys. I bought that house for $300,000. That was my first house. Today, it's worth $1.5 million. Today, it's worth $1.5 million. I bought it for $300,000. I paid it off really fast, and that money is sitting there. That's part of the wealth that's there. Buy a house, guys. I can't tell you how much it's important for you guys to invest to buying your first home, your real estate. Don't over leverage. Buy something you can afford, and then try to pay it off. And then once you've done that, put it into stocks, bonds. I mean, Corey Carroll, who's our channel leader, he's been with us for many, many years. He's a millionaire. He's a guy that told me, said, John, and he gives me advice about companies to invest in and do stuff. He's taking the extra money that he's making from living below his means, and he owns a house and all of this, and he's investing into companies that are growing and making a lot of money. But do not do it without learning. The guy has learned really well. He's very knowledgeable in what he's doing. Most people people that invest into stocks and bonds go off of, hearing it from this person or that person, and they don't do the research themselves. And then they lose the money. I did that a long time ago. I took money and I put it into this Ponzi scheme, and then the money disappeared because I heard it from a person that was my CPA. And at the time I look back, I go, what a stupid thing I did. And I look back, the CPA I was using back then was broke. He had no money. So I'm taking advice from this broke guy and put money into a Ponzi scheme and lost, I think back then it was like $7,000 or $8,000. I'm like, who am I taking advice from, right? So guys, these are the three main things that has to happen. You got to make more. Okay, you got to save the money you make. And number three, you got to invest it. Invest in what? The low-hanging fruit, 401ks, in all of those little things that are there that are ready for us to be able to take advantage of right now. So I want to talk a little bit about something. We talked about resisting temptation. This is the number one reason why a lot of us have some bad habits, because we are not resisting temptation. Let me tell you guys, America is against you. In every single thing that you do, America is against you. Even your loved ones are against you at certain times. Okay, and I'm going to tell you a story about my mom. I love her to death. My mom is the greatest person. She's the reason why I've become a plumber. If it wasn't for my mom, I would not be a plumber right now, and I would not be here talking to you guys. I go to her house every single Wednesday. My mom was raised in the time of the Soviet Union regime where there was communism. Okay, my mom was born in Siberia because my grandparents were exiled to Siberia because he was a rebel that went against Soviet Union when they were taking over Armenia colony. My mom was born there. She was a survivor of most of the children that died at her time. So every Wednesday I go to my mom's house. It took me a year or two to get my mom to stop cooking meals that I didn't eat any longer, because I learned that I'm not going to have full of carbs meals at night. After a certain amount of years, my mom stopped making that. Now she makes carb-free dinners whenever I go there Wednesday nights. But what she started doing is, she stopped doing that, but she started getting some of my favorite junk food and desserts. Now I go to her house. Today's Wednesday. I'm going to go to her house tonight. I will guarantee you there's a bag of Doritos in her kitchen. She doesn't eat it. She buys it for me. And there's Cordo's, cheese rolls that she buys. So after dinner, she just pushes it in front of me, right? She doesn't do it because she doesn't want to help me with my goals. She does it because the regime or the era that she was raised in, food was scarce. So she learned that you have to eat a lot of rice. You got to eat a lot of carbs because it fills you up. And if you go through 5 or 6 days without a meal, you can live off of the carbs that you've had. So my mom pushes that in front of me because she grew up in those times, and that's what you had to do to survive back in those days. In today's times, guys, food is everywhere. It's not the same thing. But I understand that my mom was raised in those times, so which her goal is to make me fat, and she looks at me and goes, son, you're too skinny. You're too skinny. You're not, because she connected being bulkier and a little more overweight to being healthier. So she keeps pushing, going, you got to gain some weight, son. And then she compares me to some of my cousins or other people. Oh, look at so-and-so. He's so healthy. I go, Mom, he's 40 pounds overweight. No, overweight is healthy. Okay, you need to eat to survive. That's her thing, right? So I can't say anything to my mom. I mean, that's her belief. I keep telling her that things have changed, no longer like that, but she does it. So what do I have to do? When I go to her house, I have to resist temptation, make bad food choices. So I write down my journal. What did I resist? Before I go to my mom's house, I'm prepped. I'm like, all the guards are on. I've got my armor on. I'm ready to go. I'm going to resist everything that she's going to throw in front of me. Then I'm going to run out of there and I'm going to jot down my calendar that I resisted all this. When I say that America is against you guys, family is against you, is because this is what happens, guys. Our family, my mom is trying to protect me. But she doesn't realize that that's not aligned with my goals. So the same thing is happening to you guys. You've got wives, you've got family members that their job is protect you. You work a lot, they tell you work less. They tell you to take it easy, don't stress out, don't do this, don't do that. But guys, I've learned that they do it because they love us, but I have to resist sometimes, and I have to say yes, 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 I love you too, and I have to go do the things I have to do to accomplish the goals I want. So remember that America is against you. They're going to try to put desserts in front of you. They're going to, if it's not aligned with your goals, you got to push it back. You got to be able to resist. If we don't have resistance, guys, what ends up happening, okay, is that we become, Brian Buffini used this, and And he said you become sort of like an otter, those little things that dig around, pop their heads up, and they're digging and digging and digging and working hard and hard and hard, but they're not going anywhere. All of a sudden they pop up and they're like, how the hell did I get here? They don't have maps. All they're doing is working. You have to have goals so you could align your goals with what you're working on. I want to end this with a story of somebody I heard in a recent podcast of Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder is a woman and one of the greatest success stories of a woman at her times, okay? And how did she start? She started in New York at Saks Fifth Avenue department store. And she walked in and asked them if she can set up a perfume table. And they said, no, you can't do that. And she said, look, I'll tell you what, let me set up a perfume table. Whatever I sell, I'll bring the perfume. Whatever I sell, I'll give you all the money. I don't want any money. But if I do really well, let's make a deal so I could have a perfume section at Saks Fifth Avenue. They said, no, you can't do that, and shoved her out the door. On the way out the door, she dropped a bottle of her perfume, and it broke in front of the door. And people, they started smelling it, going, what is that? What is that scent? And what she did is she set her table outside in the parking lot. And she said, that scent is right out here. And people started walking out of the stores and started buying her perfume. And this woman worked really, really hard at a time where women didn't even have a chance for success. She started selling her perfumes outside the department store in a time where they had no success. In the good old days time where people needed to have connections to be able to get ahead. And this is one of the greatest quotes that she came up with. And she said, I never worked a day in my life without selling. If I believed in something, I sold it, and I sold it hard. You know why, guys? Because people follow those with the greatest convictions. And what is your greatest conviction? Selling is a conviction. It's something that you believe in, that you believe is good for somebody, and you put your greatest strengths behind it. And this lady said, I never go a day without selling because I believe in my product so much. Guys, opportunity is always there when your mind is right. The opportunities are waiting for you, not the other way around. Okay? By the way, Estee Lauder now, this lady now owns almost all of the perfume brands that are out there. MAC, you heard, my wife used to buy this MAC. It's owned by Estee Lauder. All of the brands are under Estee Lauder. And it's one of the greatest companies that's out there that owns their space. Why? Because there was a person that had a great conviction and didn't take no for an answer and did everything that she could to get her brand out there because she believed in it so much. So here's the good news. There's 1,700 millionaires being made every single day. 1,700 every single day. This is the question you need to answer. Why not me? Why not you? Why not you? Why don't you become one of the 1,700? And if you are one of the 1,700, why not become one of the multi-millionaires that are out there, right? Why not you? The three things I just talked about, if you put it in place, you will become that. There's a couple of books I'm going to recommend at the end of this that is going to take you in the right direction. In the world, the top 10% of the entire world, if you want to get into it, $76,500. If today you have $76,500, you're in the top 10% of the entire world in wealth. Entire world. If you sold, let's say, your truck, your possessions, or whatever you had, and let's say you had $76,500, that would put you in the top 10%. This is how easy it is to get into the top 10%. The top 1% of the world net worth, if you want to be in the top 1%, it's $760,000. My goal is to get every single person that's in this company that's on the other side of this phone to be in the top 1%. And that's if you sold everything. If you have a house, you sold your house, you sold your truck, your cars, your possessions, your savings, and you have $760,000, you'll be in the top 1% of the entire world. And follow the principles I talked about, and you will be in it. Make more money. How? By getting better at your job, your position. Save more money. How? Live below your means and use the jars. Invest more money. How? 401k, Roth IRA, stocks. Buy a house. Make a goal to buy your home. And then once you accumulate everything, you'll have everything you need. You will be top 1%. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close off with the blessing. May the roads rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine soft upon your face, and may the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. Thank you, guys, and I appreciate everything everybody does for this company. Have a great day. Bye.